Hey guys, change of plans. Mania is too popular to come to my little channel.
Apparently so. Well, I'm happy for him that he's popular and he just has a busting busy life.
Right, yeah. And so Rational Empiricist is going to tell us what he thinks. So
what I think.
Oh, yeah, you rant. This is your rant.
I misinterpreted that.
Oh.
You're confusing me, Speed. Stop it.
I am confused, so I tend to spread it around. If I can distribute the confusion evenly, then I shall be less confused.
Oh, yeah, if everybody else is just as confused as you, then you don't feel so bad.
Right, and nobody will notice, which is kind of good. So
anyway. I guess originally I want to talk about my favorite subject, phylogenetics, and how creationists get it so wrong almost all of the time. I guess we'll see if Dessel or Jason can join. But basically, where to begin? It almost perplexes me how, well, I mean, like, creationists tend to avoid phylogenetics altogether, or even systematics altogether, because frankly they can't understand it, or at least they don't try to. Because like you show them, I mean, like, I don't know, what do you guys think in the chat? Do you think creationists understand or are able to understand Linnaean taxonomy at least? What do you think, Scott?
That who can understand it? Just me in general, or people in general?
No, the younger creationists.
I think most people would be able to understand it given sufficient time, and a few good videos, a few good books to read about it.
So maybe it's more like, do creationists accept Linnaean taxonomy, or at least the method of taxonomy?
Well, do they understand that it's more than, I think they always think about the working conserved genes. They think about the parts that work, right?
Right.
And what they're not thinking about is the unconserved regions, where it doesn't matter if there's a mutation. And we do phylogenies based on those unconserved regions. And those things tell you a lot more, because they mutate a little faster, so the signal can get blurry.
Yeah.
But over a long period of time, because of the size of the genome, it's really improbable that a mutation will land on a particular intron, right? So you've got the exons, which code for proteins. Now introns, they have a small conserved region that is really important. That is how the intron is spliced out. But other than that, introns are introns are something that you can stuff a lot of transposons in there, or a lot of garbage, and you can mutate the hell out of it, and it isn't going to change anything. So if you look at the introns and you do a phylogeny based on the introns, you're going to get a pretty clear signal as to ancestry.
Yeah.
And so
are you using some jargon there, Speed? I can see you've researched.
Which jargon?
The signal. And introns and all that stuff.
Yeah, I've been looking at. The thing is, the signal is statistics, and no, I don't understand the signal well enough yet.
I mean, I don't understand the math behind it, but
Yeah.
I mean, we can understand the basic idea of it at least, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That, that there's something statistical, and I'd like to know how they derive it. But anyway, nobody ever talks about the difference between the conserved regions and the unconserved regions of the genome. And the unconserved regions are where you're going to see a real clear phylogeny.
Right. Well, I mean, like you have to take in. Well, I don't know. I mean, it seems likely to, or intuitive to me at least, that if you were to take non-conserved versus conserved regions into account, you would kind of have to incorporate that into your particular model of molecular evolution in order to do your phylogeny for things like Bayesian analysis and stuff like that. So that would kind of make sense to me that would kind of have to be differentiated, right?
Yeah, and if you look at both of them and you do two different phylogenetic trees, and the trees have a correlation, then I think that's somehow that has something to do with the signal. Basically,
yeah, that would be in that case that would be high signal, because different traits are. I guess in this context it would be high signal for the tree, not the trait in question, because you're looking at different traits, in this case conserved versus non-conserved regions. But the tree has a high signal because all the data supports it.
Yeah.
I hope I didn't screw that up.
Yeah, we're always going to screw something up.
Yeah,
it's what we do.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, I mean, okay, you know what? I'm gonna rage on John Maddox's LPV. Maybe he'll show up. I mean, like, I've tried to explain this over and over to him, and he doesn't seem to get it. That I don't think he. Well, this is probably a likelihood. I don't think he understands the concept of synapomorphy. Also, thank you for pulling up the board speed. This might help with whatever I say. Like, I mean, he seems to think that phylogenetics, and this is kind of the common conception by well, practically all young Earth creationists, that phylogenetics is based on mere similarities, or genetic similarities, or comparing two things against each other and saying, oh, well, that's evidence of common ancestry, and obviously we would agree with them on that, but like that's not necessarily evidence of common ancestry, I would say. And this is why I always like to point out that when you're doing phylogenetics, you always need to compare things in threes, not in twos. That's the way I like to put it. That just comparing A and B, you're not going to be able to tell that they're related, because, well, they have to be more closely related to each other compared to something else, and that's why you have to have an outgroup in this case, kind of a group to compare the other group to, and then so on and so forth. And you can add, well, more to that, but the basic idea is you have to compare 3 organisms or species at a time, not just 2. And I think that's the idea that's so frequently misconstrued or misunderstood by young Earth creationists.
Okay.
What you draw on there, Speed?
Huh? What's up?
What you draw on there?
I do a little piece of DNA that doesn't matter. So it's a non-conserved region, right? Huh?
Smokey's in the chat. Who's RA?
Hey, Smokey. I don't know what at RA is. At Raw? At Raw. Yay, Raw. Raw Smokey.
Maybe, yeah, maybe you meant RE? I don't know.
So anyway, if any of these things change, basically, if it's in an intron, introns are very, very huge. They're 25% of our genome or something like that, introns, or 17
seems likely.
They're a whole bunch. And part of the intron matters. Like there might be a part out here that, that is the pivot, right? That basically allows the spliceosome to splice out the introns and get rid of them, right? And then there's a little more intron out here, right? Well, sometimes introns matter because there are signals encoded in either direction, little mRNAs, but we're not going to worry about that. So we'll just bracket that for now.
Hey, sorry to interrupt, Speed. Can I ask a request? And I don't think you're going to like it, but since Smokey's in the chat, and I think he would want to learn about this, did you think you can make an exception for right now? Or
sure.
If you want to join Smokey, we can continue our discussion on common ancestry if you'd like. Because I don't think we really finished that last time.
Oh, God, I'm trying to find...
And he did clarify he meant me. So I guess it would be R-E, not R-E.
Damn.
Sorry, Speed.
Yeah, well... Breaking my heart, man. Breaking my heart here. See.
You wanna throw an air punch at me?
Can I do that?
Sure.
Can I send you something over TikTok? TikTok is the demon,
Oh, darn. Oh, well. That's okay, Smokey.
Oh, he can't come in?
He says he can't. Oh, well.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Anyway, sorry for the interruption. Go ahead, Speed.
Oh, okay. Anyway. Okay, I'll cancel. We'll cancel. So, yeah, I got to get my drawing. Is my drawing still up? Yeah, even though I moved it off screen or whatever.
Oh,
anyway.
nice.
Okay. So we're not going to worry about, any of the, so we're going to say we have a non-conserved region of basically an intron, right? So if you look across, like a phylogenetic tree here, you're going to have a copy of that up here, right? And then we're going to have another copy down here. How long is that thing? I guess.
Maybe should have made it shorter.
Oh, should have made it shorter. It would have been easier.
Let's see.
Come on, damn it.
12 characters long, I think.
Yeah, so I think I got it right. Yeah.
Well, anyway. At least you got it in freeze. So it's 4 codons.
Yeah, so it's down here, and we have a GG, and we got an A here, and we have a T here, right? And so other than that, it's identical, right? So it's identical, except we got this little problem here, right there. Okay, that's different than that. Okay, then we go look up here at this guy, and I don't know if that's 12 long, and I really don't care.
Yeah.
Okay. So now up here, we have a G, and we have a G, and we have an A, and we have a T. Okay. And another T, right?
Yeah.
Another T.
G.
And then we got another A. Okay, so that one's different, right?
Yep.
So these two things basically, like, the interesting thing is that this matches. Okay.
Right.
This thing, except for that one right there, this part matches exactly this part down here, right?
Right.
So it kind of looks like that didn't get mutated, but it got mutated right here. Okay, so that,
right, and this is kind of the thing I was trying to bring up is basically how do you determine what evolved into what, for example? Because if you were to just consider the characters by themselves,
right,
you'd only be able to find, okay, this thing's closely related to this thing, and you'd get that unrooted tree, basically, like a little star diagram, basically. But in order to root it and find the direction or the polarity of change or of character change, you need to find, like I said, you need to use an outgroup. So in this case, in order to figure out the bottom one right there, the bottom ancestral sequence, we would need to compare the two up there to a third one. Yeah, an outgroup.
Yep. And find, like basically the best match, and the outgroup might match this one more. So that's how we'd run our tree.
Yeah. The outgroup basically determines the direction of how you're going to route it.
Yeah.
So change your outgroup, you change how the rest of the tree falls. So it's pretty important.
Yeah.
Now, I would say outgroups aren't always used in phylogenetics, but they are pretty common, I believe.
Yeah.
They're kind of useful.
The thing is, if we are dealing with a little piece of the genome, and of course they'll say that it's all functional, that God did this mutation on purpose, right? Like this right. One right here is a mutation, and this one is a mutation, that differs from this. Now, if this thing more, I don't know. Anyway, so it looks like basically it started with this sequence, and then we had a mutation here and a mutation here. So we had two mutations, right?
Right.
So why did God do it that way, unless there was a reason for him to put the C there instead of the A, and for him to put the A there instead of the G that I had? Yeah, G.
Yeah.
So you have to ask that question. And of course, they can insist, because they can ad hoc make up anything they want. They can insist, oh, well, God had a plan. There's a reason for this. We just don't know what it is. If you take this organism and you put him on the Arctic Circle without a codon, he's going to need that, right? But
first position of the codon can change, for example,
right,
without any functional effect.
Yeah. But in order to make that case, they're going to have to show us an instance where that C makes a difference, right? They're going to have to empirically show us evidence that mutation was absolutely necessary for this particular polar bear here and not for this polar bear here.
Right. Well, see, this is where they're going to come up with the ad hoc explanation that God made it this way so it would be redundant for
adaptable,
some odd reason.
Yeah. But I mean, to show that, these non-conserved parts of every intron are functional, good luck with that. Let them show that. Okay. And of course, they'll come on and they'll say, okay, so now we got an intron, like we got an intron here. And of course, here's our pivot for the intron. That helps it splice. But then every now and then a transposon will land in the middle of an intron, and the antisense will create a microRNA, and that microRNA will end up stopping the translation of some protein or some some gene into a protein. It'll be exported. And they'll say, oh, so this is functional, right? So they'll say, well, we found something in an intron that's functional. But the thing that people can't grasp, and you can't grasp it until you look at how gigantic these introns are. I mean, they go on for just, some of them go on for like 10,000 bases, right?
Yeah.
And we got little pieces that are functional. So we find a little tiny piece. Actually, what we've done here is we haven't found a piece that big. We found a little tiny piece right here that's functional. Little tiny piece.
If the intron was a cupcake, the creationists are only looking at the sprinkles.
Not even as big as a sprinkle. That's too big.
Well, you get my point, Speed.
I get your point, right? Yeah. They're looking at a little tiny speck of dust that landed on your cupcake that happened to have an effect, So and if you can imagine with how many introns we have, how many papers there are, they'll say, oh, here's a functional part of an intron. Here's a functional part. Here's a functional part. But I mean, overall, when you're looking at like 25% of the genome being introns, they got a long road ahead of them before they prove that that's functional. But they can say it is. They can make up anything they want. How do we deal with it?
It's going back to phylogenetics. It's the same thing with these all these incongruencies and how they're forgetting the massive amount of congruencies that overwhelmingly support common ancestry. And yeah, sure, we find bits and pieces here that don't seem to fit currently, but that's kind of just cherry picking at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, and see, like, okay, SFT has a ministry. He calls it a ministry, right?
Right.
And his job is to mention 5 things in a row, to do a Gish Gallop across 5 things, to run through and show 5 papers, and then he says paper after paper after paper, right? And he's trying to make the point that we're proving functionality for everything, right? That everything is functional because he has paper after paper after paper. Well, if he showed 5 papers, he showed 5 little specks, you know, and he has not made a case for the entire thing. And that's what we have to push back on. And he'll say, oh, we just don't know yet.
Mm.
And then we can say, well, we just don't know what happened before the Big Bang either. So there you go. Tit for tat.
Yeah.
But, and this makes sense, Scott? Oh, Scott he's watching Netflix. God damn it.
I'm eating peanut butter crackers.
Blah, blah, blah. I got crackers. I brought midnight crackers.
Oh, I thought those were potato chips.
No, they're crackers. Cheddar crackers.
Oh.
I should start munching them in the microphone. I love when people do that. You sound like you had your mouth full of peanut butter, Scott.
He said he had peanut butter or something.
Yep.
Yeah, peanut butter and crackers.
Yep.
Oh, it's cracker exception.
So you're invited to an esteemed panel of phylogenetics and rational empiricist ranting, and you decided to stuff peanut butter in your mouth. I don't get it.
Do you guys know if Randolph would have anything?
Don't ask me for feedback, so I got caught by surprise.
Go take a drink and get back to us. Jesus. Okay. Oh, here's African Orphan again.
Oh.
Hello, African Orphan.
Hey, Speed, do you think Randolph would want to come in here?
Sure. No, he's working on his Q3 taxes, he said, but I can try. Yeah, we're just trying to get anybody to pay attention to it tonight. We don't give a shit.
Should we just throw the link out there?
We could.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to get anywhere if we don't add at least a little more people.
Yeah, if we have too many people, then we get nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God, my sister. And I just doxed myself.
Oh, darn it, Speed.
Well, I don't care who knows who I am. Hi, Charlene. What you doing? She's wondering why I haven't called her. Hey, Charlene, did you know Chris is getting married? I just found out my nephew's getting married. I just found out my nephew's getting married.
Don't stop doxing yourself.
I know. And like they wanted my address so they could send me a wedding invitation. And I said, you haven't told me yet that he's getting married, and they want my so like I found out because they were after my address. So anyway.
So Orphan, we're Orphan, we are ranting about how creationists get everything wrong about phylogenetics. Does that help?
Our esteemed colleague, Top Dog Shattuck, sends this question in all the way from the New Jersey coast. I don't know where he lives, but anyway, what is the likelihood number of the same DNA changes in the different species that are not related? I think he has more clearly up here.
I guess it depends because I mean, like if it's a single substitution, for example, well, that's going to happen all the time. That's how saturation happens, for example. So single substitutions, sure, they're gonna switch and everything like that. That's kind of why you have to be careful with the particular models of mutation you choose. So I guess the only problem in that case would be larger mutations like duplications or ERV things like that. That would be a lot rarer, if that makes sense. I hope that helps.
Okay, so what we ought to do is we ought to grab ourselves a few genes.
Okay.
And some, smaller ones, hopefully.
Yeah.
And go out to NCBI and collect a bunch of them across species and run some of our own trees and do it in such a way that we can actually show what we're doing and show some results in it. I wonder if you came up with really small sessions, I wonder if we could come up with sensible trees, like if we took like half a gene or a quarter of a gene or maybe just an intron or something and ran some phylogenies on it just to show people how it's done. That NCBI stuff, have you used it to download multiple genes? It gives you a headache.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I've used it that much.
Yeah.
I'm not good with computers.
Oh boy, it's calling it computation is almost a misnomer because it's just so difficult to use sometimes. Let me see if I can stop.
That's all from the chat. Oh well. I think he's dissing on you, Speed.
Is your brother's wrong in real life? She would agree totally with Dessel. Oh my God. The thing is that
a lot rarer is all I can say at this point because there probably isn't a specific number for that.
It's kind of hard to quantify. He's asking for a probability of some sort.
Well,
yeah,
okay.
I don't think that exists.
Here's the thing: Dessel is wrong about everything. So when he says that I'm wrong sometimes, or I'm wrong, then he's wrong about that too. So I'm right.
Oh.
Because he's wrong about everything.
CRISPR.
So give Beast a try. Blast it. What is Beast?
We need you in here. We're talking phylogenetics.
Did I put the chat out there?
No,
you did not.
I thought I did.
Well, I would greatly appreciate.
I noted that, but then I thought, well, maybe he went ahead and decided to email links, so I didn't do anything.
Oh, well.
I don't know. I just put the chat out there. So
there you go.
I would great. Oh, darn it. Oh, well.
Here we go.
Darn it. No one can join.
Hey, well, we were very impromptu, so we just managed with what we got and appreciate everybody for being here.
We appreciate all of you who came.
Yes, we do.
Joining.
Oh, Randolph.
I
guess we will.
Sorry, I'm not CRISPR.
We just want you to be you, man.
Yep.
You do you.
I was on a stream the other day with one of Canadian Catholic streams, and he had Sal on. So I asked Sal to throw a book for Leophilius, so he did. And I shared a link to the video of it. You skip ahead to 10 minutes, you'll see it.
That would be a good thing to...
And then I sent that to Leophilius, so they're going to go back and forth on it, I hope.
Oh. We keep getting more people. Erica's here.
Hey,
Erica, can you pop in?
Haven't been here for a while. How's everyone doing?
Good.
How are you?
Yeah.
This is a wiffle ball. A wiffle ball.
Okay.
It's actually these are the chromosomes, what they look like in your cells right now when your cells are busy doing their work. So each of these different colors is a different chromosome, and they have something called chromosomal territories. Wow, they named them territories. That's pretty cool. But anyway, so they attach at the surface or the underside of the nucleus, and they arrange themselves into little groups. And you can look at them here, like this one right here. is chromosome X. So that's the X chromosome. And then when you do that down here, you can actually see just the territory, and you can like rotate it around and play with it. Anyway, so that's the X chromosome. And
wow,
this is called the 4D nucleome browser. And they call it 4D because it changes over time a little bit.
Oh, okay.
But this has to do with how genes are regulated. Like, because we can't try to transcribe every gene all the time. We would die, and we wouldn't have tissue types. So for different tissue types, you might find different organizations of these chromosomes, or maybe not. We don't know much yet about these territories. We're just learning. And there's something called 3D or chromosomal remodeling. And what that means is that this little thing is going to be remodeled a little bit so that some of these strands of DNA stick out into the middle of the nucleus where it can be transcribed.
Oh, Serb is in here. I didn't even notice.
And now they're going to look a little different for each person, obviously, I guess, but generally be like this is the idea.
They found out that across species, even these territories are pretty similar.
But not exactly the same. So
yeah, but I don't know. I don't know the answer to the question. Are they different across different tissues? I'm guessing they're a little bit different. They're going to be remodeled a little bit differently. But there's
Wait,
go ahead.
Did you say we don't know just a minute ago?
I said we don't know yet.
Well,
these things
that's obviously God.
These things just got on our radar about 10 years ago. The fact that this is what chromosome, because you can't look, you can't take a microscope and look at a cell and see the chromosome because it's too skinny, right?
Small.
Yeah, the DNA strand is too skinny, so you really can't see where they're at. So what they did is they created markers, radioactive colored markers for each of these chromosomes, and then they looked at a picture, and I could show you pictures if I did a search where they can actually photograph these, and they're slowly unwinding what all this does. Now, around the inside of the nucleus, there's some sticky, fibery, cotton-like stuff called lamin that basically attaches to these chromosomes and sort of organizes them. And this has a lot to do with why one cell type is different than another cell type and a whole bunch of other things. But anyway.
So Randolph.
Hi.
Hi. Did you have anything to add on the other stuff we were talking about?
What I just mentioned earlier when I came in? Not really.
Yeah, the phylogenetic stuff at all, or I'm guessing that's probably not your particular cup of tea.
Sorry, about the you mean about the genetics that we're looking at here? No, I don't.
The phylogenetics, yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't. I
okay.
heard people saying they want to invite me in, so I thought, sure, I'll join in. It's nice to hang out with you guys.
Oh, well, you're always welcome here, Randolph. We appreciate your company.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I appreciate all of you.
We appreciate what you do in general.
Oh, wow.
Here in Canada.
See, I never get that.
Hi,
No.
Peter. So, what are you doing in prison?
Look closely.
You're trying to keep yourself safe?
More keep myself sane.
Oh, it's Catholic prison.
No. Let's not mention it.
Okay. You know what, Randolph? We don't need this to turn into another Leo situation from yesterday. Okay? That was God here. All right. And I thank you, Speed, for hosting that.
Yeah, that was.
What did I miss? I'm gonna have to go watch yesterday's stream. It sounds like.
Oh my God.
Leo couldn't figure out my Batman logo.
Yep. Watch the part where Leo wasn't getting it. It's just hilarious.
Yeah,
I do recognize the face. It's somebody you've interacted with who's on the other side, so to speak.
But Speed, how come you didn't contact me?
How come what?
How come you didn't contact me?
I was supposed to contact you?
Yeah, because Germania couldn't do it. I mean, I'm basically as well versed in science as Germania is. I'm as loud and as obnoxious as Germania is.
Oh,
And I'm so,
Oh,
I have a silly avatar, but I'm slightly more attractive, maybe, I think.
yeah.
But so I could have filled in, and I could have done an interview with Rational Empiricist, because I know pretty much nothing about him. So
you're saying that you you're saying that you have a silly avatar?
You can play that game too, can you?
It's the Heineken R2D2 for people who can't quite make it out.
Yeah, see, that's entirely wrong, because you need a Grolsch R2D2.
Okay. Then you've got me beat.
A Heineken isn't beer.
Okay, then you've got me beat on technicalities. I give it to you. I give it to you.
As a
Well,
former employer of the Grolsch brewery, I can tell you Heineken is not beer.
Okay. What is it then?
then?
It is foamy sewage water. That's what we call it here.
Okay.
Skeleton. So then, Peter, what would you have to add to the phylogenetic stuff?
No, I would have done an entire interview with you.
Oh.
Just as I said, I know absolutely nothing about you, so I'd have questions enough. We could easily fill an hour.
What sort of questions?
So, Rational Empiricist, do a quick introduction of yourself as to where can people find you? Do you have a channel or something?
No, I am located in the void. No one can find me.
You're located in the void, so you're more or less a welcome addition to other channels who need people like you because they can't provide content on their own.
I wouldn't say that.
Andrew is the Max Headroom of YouTube science communicators.
Well, I appreciate that.
So, but what brought you to YouTube?
Well, I guess.
Other than watching, I mean.
Well, I guess just how, well, like, you mean the YouTube community right here?
Yeah.
Okay. Or just because I've been on YouTube for a while, but yeah, the YouTube sphere that we're in right now, I guess I just kind of joined because I guess two things. One, I disagree with pretty much everything creationists say, and I have this innate tendency to try and correct people when they get something wrong.
That's two things we have in common.
Oh, nice.
You guys are in the wrong place. This is the least healthy place for someone like that. You guys need to run away while you still can.
I guess the other thing was, well, there are this series by Answers in Genesis where these teenage kids try and explain why evolution is wrong, and just the way they do it kind of kickstarted me. I'm like, do people actually believe this nonsense? And that kind of just led me further and further till I met Immutable and Speed, and then I kind of just joined the community right here.
You literally told my story. The only difference between you and me is I got that from Kent Hovind.
Oh,
it's literally why I joined YouTube as well. So
cool.
That, yeah. And so
why has Randolph become a secret agent? What I missed? Did he evolve?
That's Max Headroom.
That's Max Headroom.
Oh.
That's Max.
Forgive my lack of culture at this point.
That's my bad impersonation of him.
No, it might be actually before your time.
I did a music video with him.
Oh,
with
Max
Max
Editor?
Edwin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. You
Yeah.
did. That was
Yeah,
a good one.
I did part of the lyrics. Scientist Mel did another part of the lyrics, and then most of it was done by Per Meow Meow.
Yeah, you should put that up here. That video has a nice ring to it. It's quite well done.
Well, it would get Speed another strike. So
Yeah, I got a strike last time you did it.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Stephen Molyneux. It's making fun of. I don't know how to pronounce his name. That guy's a piece of work.
Molyneux.
Okay.
Molyneux.
It doesn't sound anything like expelled.
Okay. Molyneux. Okay.
So Peter. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's not a big deal. There is no X in it or C. It's just Molyneux.
Oh, Molyneux. Oh, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, so Rational Empiricist. So that was what brought you to YouTube, and
Yep.
so you've been contributing to several channels because I have seen you around on several channels. What is your would you say is your favorite topic to talk about?
Oh, I guess two things. That's kind of a no-brainer. Evolutionary phylogenetics and I guess cosmology. That's kind of my two biggies.
Okay, and I would agree that those topics aren't being talked about a lot when it comes to the atheist community. When you look at their channels, I don't think that they're covering that a lot, do they?
Yeah, I would say both sides. I guess, for lack of a better word, are yeah, I would agree with that. Both sides aren't really covering it that much.
So, what do you think? How could we improve on that? Do we need a specific channel for that, or?
Well, I guess because if we were to do a specific channel about that, then I feel like it would still be isolated on that channel. So I feel like what we need is more people who are interested in this going on other channels and kind of changing it up once in a while. But that's just my opinion.
I don't think there's much of a cross section between or overlap between people who are really interested in cosmology and people who are interested in arguing about atheism.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Well,
it's an interesting topic because I know pretty much nothing about cosmology. I know tiny little bit, and I have argued it with.
Well, I mean, I also like phylogenetics because basically no creationists or a few creationists really understand the basics of it. And kind of it's kind of a big field that itself is kind of a gotcha for creationists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but so phylogenetics. When it comes to phylogenetics, we've got people like Arn Ra who has tons of videos about that. But as I said, when it comes to cosmology, there isn't a lot.
Yeah.
So
sorry, one thing. Speed. When am I gonna get to talk to Arn Ra? Are we still doing that?
Oh, I can just bug me and I'll reach out to him.
Okay, got it. I can do that.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
I look forward to.
Anyways, what?
I look forward to hearing you and Arn Ross speak.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
That'll be a good conversation, I'm sure.
It looks like we may have to cancel Faithless Forum again down in Texas because Austin is now the hotspot of the country.
Oh,
They have 10 ICU beds available in the entire city of Austin, Texas.
yeah,
that's terrible. Like with
I guess they'll go to the highest bidder since this is Texas.
well, we've been looking into it, Canadian Atheists. We want to run such an event here in Canada, and we're still waiting for our government to give us something definite before we can open this up. And one of the biggest things that is a problem is that the border is still closed. So, except for essential travel, and this kind of event wouldn't qualify as essential. So,
Yeah.
So we're waiting for the government guidelines because we want to do everything by the book on it. And we're pretty sure that the insurance policy that we'll have for the site will also require all that. So, and plus it's the right thing to do. That's the most important thing. Because we don't want to be spreading it or contributing to that or causing it. Like we had plans for this about 2 years ago to start an event, and it's all been on hold because of the pandemic. Because we think public safety is more important, and so sounds like Faithless Forum has the same attitude, which is good and not surprising. It's a shame though, because these events, it's there's a lot of work goes into just planning them alone. Before you get to the stage of actually making things happen, and then that's even more work.
Yeah, it's disappointing because I thought when I made reservations and everything that we were past all this crap about the pandemic, getting worse and worse. But here we go.
Well, there's people still refusing to get vaccinated, refusing to wear masks, all this kind of stuff, and vast majority of them are pro-Trump types, which is not surprising to most people.
Well, the mask thing will be taken care of because stores will start requiring it again. But from what I hear so far, it doesn't actually matter if anyone has vaccinated as far as getting other people sick.
Yeah, you can still carry it, and plus the other problem is new variants that aren't covered by the current vaccines.
Well, what I mean. I think all the variants are covered by the current vaccine. It's just the Delta variant is so prolific that the vaccine won't keep you from transmitting it,
including the new Lambda variant too.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. Huh. I thought that we'd be looking toward maybe in a year getting more vaccines to update to keep in line with these others.
Yeah, right now the AstraZeneca is in the middle of a trial checking a booster shot to see if it will stop the Delta. Push the Delta back to it being non-transmittable when you get it.
Me and my family were all on Pfizer.
Well, I don't know about Pfizer.
One kid left to get her second one, and then we're all fully vaccinated.
Yeah,
I imagine everyone else is doing boosters too.
Yeah, Pfizer already have a booster.
There you go.
Which you can take and is very effective against the D variant.
The D is Delta, but what about the Lambda one?
I don't know about that one.
That one's fairly new. Forgot where it's from.
Yeah, it's just a shame, Randolph, you don't have a god to pray to. Otherwise, you could go ahead with your forum.
I don't think that's a shame.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying. Saying.
Oh, go ahead.
Plausible deniability.
Oh, I see. No, I don't need excuses. I'll take responsibility. I decided to put the kibosh on this thing because of what's going on. So it's my fault.
Yeah.
There were some people.
Say, Randolph.
Okay.
I have a request, Randolph.
Yeah.
Could you put your campfire out up there?
Oh, we've been trying. We've got crews working on it. We even had rain for the last couple of days, luckily, but I should say fortunately. Because I'm talking with a bunch of skeptics here, but it's these are big fires. There's some people have been setting fires, and a couple of them ended up abandoning their stuff to start the fires with, and I guess they thought they're going to get caught, so they ran off and left their stuff behind. And the police have received reports of those items sitting around in places where it would be seemingly convenient for an arsonist to strike.
Wow.
Yeah, so
we can't breathe down here in Minnesota anymore.
I don't think these are the same people who are lighting churches on fire here, but
oh,
yeah.
What is happening in Canada right now?
Oh well, there's all the open graves from the residential schools that were run by Catholic clergy back in the day, and there's been a lot of public outcry about it, and because a lot of them are unmarked graves that people don't really know who's who, but they all seem to be pretty much all children in those graves. And there were a lot of children that disappeared when they went to the residential schools and nobody knew where they went. So police are currently investigating that, but there's some people are still very angry about, a lot of people are angry about it. And some are taking matters into their own hands, I guess you could say, and enacting revenge on the church by burning the churches. So I don't condone that. I think that best thing is to support the investigation in any way you can. And, you know, there's the RCMP, our federal police force, is working with Indigenous groups in the investigations on this. And even our Prime Minister has requested that the Pope come to Canada to apologize to the Aboriginal population for this, because they're the ones that got hit by all this. And for this, for what the clergy did in the past, and there's been no response from the Pope. I know Ireland had the same problem. I think MathPig was just telling me a couple of weeks ago that I think there were like 800 graves were found in Ireland around the churches. Not Indigenous, but just because it's a different kind of demographic there, right? But and then there's been a whole bunch uncovered in the U.S. as well, and there's some other countries as well that I'm hearing are having this. So it's like a worldwide phenomenon. The common denominator there is that the Catholic Church was involved in running the residential schools.
Yeah, care homes in this country in the 70s and 80s also suffered the same problem, it turns out.
Your country too? Oh boy.
Yeah. Well, the care homes, basically, it wasn't so much the churches. It was the care homes run for children, care homes run for children by the Catholic Church.
How many graves have they found?
I don't know exactly about graves. They did find some graves, but I don't think there's been a comprehensive investigation done, because the records are so old, 70s records, and they've been covered up.
Yeah.
That was found out a long time ago. That's what led them to start looking into abuse in the Catholic Church.
And the way this looks to me is like the Catholic Church is just continuing business as usual, like they always have throughout the horrific times back to medieval times and all this, right? So nothing's really changed. They still have the same outlook on life and disrespect for humanity that they always have.
Yeah.
I really don't think it's changed. They're more diplomatic about it now because they have to be, but deep down they really don't care. Look at the way George Pell was handled, and that tells you a lot right there.
Well, that American priest, the first one to be charged in America, obviously, in California, I can't remember the guy's name. The Vatican smuggled him out of America, took him to Rome where he couldn't be prosecuted, and gave him $30 million.
Yeah.
To shut the fuck up and fuck off, basically.
Yeah, and then the church comes out, and so does Bill Donahue, who's a big name in the Catholic church industry in the U.S., is they're saying that abortion is a worse crime than child molestation.
Yeah, it's just...
Well, they're sick. They need to be shut down. The world should be pushing back against the Catholic Church and saying, we've had enough. It's time for you to shut down. You're done. You know, they've had so many centuries of this crap. You know, actually, the last straw should have been when they hooked up with Adolf Hitler.
But yeah. Well. What about Stalin and Mao? Ha! Checkmate, atheist.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard to tell them. I mean, they're their own literal country. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Look, can we just can we just agree that humanity in general kind of sucks at times?
Oh yeah. But the church makes it easier for people to justify being nasty to each other as part of the problem. But it looks like we've got a list of species on a spreadsheet.
It looks like Erica went to AIG and downloaded their kinds and turned it into a spreadsheet for us. But it's interesting, they have these clean kinds, so clean animals. So
that's not a scientific term, though, is it?
Kinds, no.
Clean mammals? Nope.
Kinds are not scientific, and clean and unclean are not scientific.
Well, I would say cats are pretty particular about keeping themselves clean. Do we see them in here? No, we don't.
I don't see them.
This has to do with the eating.
Yes.
Cows,
Yeah,
cows are clean, right?
ceremonial, appropriate for ceremonial sacrifice.
Oh, that's
Wait.
what they're thinking.
Am I misreading that? Is that hippo?
Yeah, hippo is apparently clean. Hippo, what is? I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah.
So is this somehow clean in the sense that it's approved by God?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny that an animal that literally propels its shit with its tail should be regarded a clean animal. I mean, only a god could make that.
But, I mean,
mistake.
it's constantly in the bathtub.
Wait. Hold on a second.
That's because their crap doesn't stink. Don't you know that, Peter?
Yeah. Mine doesn't either. Although,
Okay, guys,
everyone
hang on a second here.
disagrees.
Hold on a second. So Gutsick Gibbon took a picture and typed all these. What? No.
She went to
You
the
didn't.
Ark encounter and somehow or another took note of the different kinds that they had there listed.
And she put them
And
into
she
this-
put them in a spreadsheet because she's, well, you just got to love her. She's a nerd.
Well, it makes it
in
easy
the
for people
hell?
to look through, right?
No, the internet has a word for this: weaponized autism.
She also had her picture taken with Ken Ham.
It's also
I mean,
cool.
really, that's a
also
lot of.
cool.
That's a lot of.
You know,
time.
if I went to the Ark encounter, I'd get my picture with Ken Ham.
It's also called the Ark Encounter of the Turd kind.
Ooh. Oh boy, yeah. Where do they put all that? Oh, they flush it out to the ocean, right?
She typed that by hand. Erica, you are a machine. I would never do that.
I
Oh,
mean,
Thank you.
Erica,
Thank
you are a gem to this planet.
I gotta say,
Wow.
thank you for your hard work, Erica. That's
Yeah, so-
wonderful what you did.
Okay. You know what? That's giving her too much credit. You are a gem to YouTube. Is that better? No, it's worse. But whatever.
She's captain of YouTube now.
No.
I'm trying to remember what are the standards to identify a clean animal?
Don't know. Something to do with hooves.
Yeah, I
There's
remember the
chewing the cud and a
Yeah.
cloven hoof and then something else.
Oh, I like Icarus' comment. It says, "Clean mammals? Is that like clean coal?"
Yeah.
Chewing the cud and the cloven hoof. So,
So a
rabbits, right?
Hippotrygonae is a grazing antelope.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not a hippo.
That makes sense. I was about to say I don't think
Antelopes?
hippos regurgitate.
Wait a minute, antelopes were clean kind. Well, great. I suppose they domesticated them, right? Antelopes.
Oh, I don't think domestication is a requirement.
I thought it was for clean stuff. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think you will find, Speed, that in the Garden of Eden, all animals were pretty much, as we would call it today, domesticated.
Okay.
Oh, now that brings something up there, actually, Peter, which I heard Cerberus talking about.
Yeah, me too.
Cerberus.
Cabarrus. With the great Jesus is Lord.
Care Bears?
Calamity Joe. Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
I missed it. What I
So
say?
if I may ask the question, so somebody said when the garden was created, all the animals in the garden were good. That just comes from Genesis, does it? Like when the Lord created everything, it was all good.
Yeah.
Right. So what does that? So that means the serpent was good.
Yep.
Okay. So
Jill thinks the serpent's Satan and came down from heaven into the garden. So he adds that to the book.
Okay, boys and girls, I put a link to this document in the description of this video so that we can share it far and wide. So,
All
Now we
right,
have-
boys. All right, boys and girls. Today we're gonna. I don't know where I was going, but thank you, Speed.
hey, Midnight.
Yes.
Guess what I got because I missed you. Crackers.
Well, fuck you too.
Yep. Fuck you very much.
Oh, everybody's
love
so
is
polite
strong.
today. Everybody's
The
so polite.
love is strong.
I'm craving ice cream now.
Did you tell Midnight that you killed his moth?
What?
You killed
What?
a moth.
What? Okay, I don't even want to know.
Did you tell Midnight that you killed his moth
Oh,
and
no. I
put it
didn't.
under the microscope
Put it
yesterday?
under the microscope. Yeah,
No. Wait, what?
I killed the moth. It's right here. Okay. I think I can turn my camera on. I have no idea.
Yeah, I hate making fun of people behind their backs. I'd rather do that
Yeah.
right to their face.
Okay, there it is, Midnight. There's your moth. Let me see if I can get it in focus. Okay,
It's
a midnight moth.
Is it called the? Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
It's called a midnight moth.
Yeah.
Alas, poor Luna. I knew thee well.
Huh.
Not really.
So, how'd you kill it with a suplex?
I put it in the freezer. I put all my bugs in the freezer. It's very humane way to kill them.
By freezing them to death.
Yeah, they think winter's coming. They think it's just natural winter. It's very natural.
Oh, and so then they adjust into some kind of hibernating mode, but they never wake up from it because it's too cold.
Yes. Yeah. Well, they do wake up, I think, in heaven, and they're in a better place.
I was just on chat on Lisa for Truth Channel earlier before coming on this stream, and Otangela was trying to tell me about how great heaven is, and then in the same breath telling me, well, same sentence, writing that nobody can know how great heaven is. So I asked him,
that would be a claim that Otangelo would make.
and then I asked him why he's so special to know, and then he says, in God's eyes, we're all special, which is a non-answer. You can't get anywhere with this guy.
Nope.
I don't know. I never liked religion. To me, religion, especially Christianity, it fills you with self-loathing, right?
Yeah.
It makes you hate yourself a lot. Just
Yes,
I don't know.
Because you just want to sin. You got sin all over your whole body, right down to your toes.
It makes you. It turns people into the enemy inside.
It tells you you're basically worthless, capable of absolutely nothing, and ugly and vile and.
But see, Peter,
in your case, pretty accurate. Midnight, but
fuck you. All right, you fucking
Peter, you earned that.
fucking asshole Dutchman. How
Yeah.
dare you? Okay, how fucking dare you do that? Say that to me.
You earned that, Peter.
because I can.
Speed, remove him. Get him out of my sight.
Yeah, and so they say it's the sigh of the oppressed creature,
Who is that?
heartless world, the soul of a soulless condition. It is the opium of
But
the
no,
people.
they claim that atheism. Atheism says that, right? Where if you're an atheist, you believe you're nothing. Yeah, like I've argued this before, right? I feel more special. I feel more special. Knowing that, I feel more special knowing that a stage 2 star exploded 4.6 billion years ago and made us here. I feel more special being Stardust.
But to be honest, you are special. You're the only one on the panel who's worth money in Africa.
That's true. Yeah.
I think this picture of Stephen Molyneux is that Peter's using is getting to his head.
Yeah. I put the link to the music video in the side chat. So, Speed, the only strike you will get is for using the music, and you can't monetize your video. It's not going to harm you in any way, shape, or form.
They won't remove me.
No,
I'm so persecuted.
it's a good chance to see Scientist Mel in a very creepy role.
Does anyone know if Brainbug is at work right now?
Does anyone know? Does anyone know if Peter's going to be hit in the face for that joke?
We'll try.
Why don't you ask him, Andrew?
Oh, hey, Brainbug. The bug
Well, I
with
meant
brain.
like in the sun.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
What's a bug doing? Brainbug never wants to talk to me about bugs. He thinks
I feel like wouldn't Brainbug have something to say on phylogenetics? Have we ever chatted on that? I don't think so.
Probably he would. He'd probably,
you're all.
Speed. He'd probably find your moth interesting too.
yeah.
Well, keep in mind, Brainbug loves living insects. All
I know.
Speed does is kill them and put them in his freezer.
I don't mean to kill them.
No, he puts them in his freezer so that that comes first before the killing.
Yeah.
He's
Well-
basically the Hitler of bugs, is he? Speed.
Well, that's basically like saying I just handed him the poison. He took it.
I disagree with that
circulatory
characterization.
system.
I disagree with that characterization of me, Peter.
Yeah, it's a bit over the top. Oh look, Germania's here too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he said Peter may be my favorite person. He didn't catch my description of him earlier when I just joined.
Romania's been here for a while.
Brainbug does it too. Do you put them in the freezer, Brainbug? I put them in the freezer so that it calms them down.
Yeah.
Do you leave the light on for them?
What's that?
Do you leave the light on?
Definitely
Yeah,
leave the light on.
He checks every hour. The moment he opens the freezer, light's still on.
Yep.
Hey, Brainbug, do you think you could come in for right now? Or are you doing something?
Yeah, we want all you people in here.
Maybe Germania
Sunday
can
night,
join us, too.
none of us have lives.
Germania, you'll have to go back to where I joined, and then that will probably be the last time you'll talk to me. Oh, Germania's home. Germania's home.
I just put the StreamYard link. And so did two other people. All at the same time.
Well, while we're looking for a subject, may I recite a tale of my life today?
Yes.
A tail?
A tale, a short little story.
A monkey's tail, or
So,
Peter, shut the fuck up now. Okay.
my brain, I swear, I swear I'm two different people, and then there's like the normal me in the front of my mind, and in the back, very quietly, there's a genius that only ever once in a while says something. And so I went to the bathroom, right? I wanted to go take a number 2, and it was one of those poops that was like perfect, except for when you went to wipe, you like wiped and wiped and then wiped again and then wiped some more, and you're like 5 or 6 wipes in, and you're like, what the fuck? And that little genius in the back of my head says, "I'm a crayon now."
Speed, you really need some new content.
see,
I know.
and
I'm so sorry that I quieted Peter for that.
and what you missed in that story is a Dutch toilet.
I don't want to know about that.
A Dutch toilet has a shelf so you can see what you produced.
Oh my goodness. Oh no. Okay.
It has.
I'm leaving.
That's why I changed my name to Brown Crayon.
We need a new topic.
Oh.
We need a new topic.
Oh my goodness. So Brainbug, come on in.
It's hard to top.
Oh, he's on
It's
the
hard
phone.
to top Cerberus's topic, though.
He's on a phone. Did I stop
Hey,
my
Well, I guess if Jason wants to come in here, we could change it to some questions I might have for him about. Well, you know how creationists are always going off on how biased peer review is? Maybe he'd like to add on to that, perhaps.
I've heard that accusation before.
Yes.
And also the ever so popular conspiracy theory that all the scientists and all the science organizations work together to
Money.
hide information. Yeah.
Nerdy Rodent gets it.
Yeah, I think they're very biased. They really don't like nonsense.
See you, Scott.
You know, you've got a point there. I can't argue with that. It's all about eliminating the nonsense.
Yeah. How dare they not publish my nonsense?
Yeah, those Lancet, they're the worst
I'll
of them
get you,
all.
Scott.
They're very.
Oh wow! Did you see this?
When it comes to that.
Did you guys see this?
Oh,
So Monkey for Banana.
I hope our pal Monkey for Banana is paying you. He offered Orge $100 to debate McQueen.
Yeah, is that Professor Crackers?
yes.
Dr. Crackers. Yeah.
Gutsick Gibbon just wrote that.
That's a great name, Professor Crackers.
Well,
I think that's still a bit on the low side. A couple of months ago, someone offered on Raw $1,400 to debate Darth. I think that's still a bit on the low side.
Hey, Jason.
Hey,
How are you?
Jason.
Hey, what's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I've lost control, so you guys go ahead and have fun.
Hey, can you move me to the center, please? I feel uncomfortable in this corner.
I think.
Okay, we'll put you right there.
But did my
Thank you.
crayon story break you?
Yes.
Now I feel
sorry.
uncomfortable because now Simus is on top of me. Can you move me on top of Simus, please?
Oh, Peter likes to be on top. Okay.
I like
Anyway.
Samus on top.
I can see it now. 10 years from now, Speed will take a poop and go, I'm a crayon.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Simus, quick question. Vettel, which place?
Disqualified.
Makes him 20?
He's did not finish.
Yeah, but in the video that we're going to use, where is he? Number 20?
Going to use.
Number 20?
No, I don't follow what you're saying. Sorry, he's disqualified. What's
But you're going to play a video tomorrow
yeah.
that has 20 spots.
Oh, I see.
Does he come below Bottas?
Yeah, he doesn't even get on that list because he's disqualified.
Yeah, so basically number 20.
Yeah, no, don't even put him on the list.
No.
Leave it empty?
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I made 4 of these already. I made one when the race was done, and then I figured out that I had made a mistake, so I had to make a new one, and then Vettel got disqualified, so I made 2 new ones, putting him in 2 different positions, and now you want him to take him out, and I need to make another one.
Yeah.
I hate you.
Well, just put it. I don't know because they are going to appeal, right?
Yeah.
They are going to appeal the referee, but it's never happened that has been rescinded. So that is a cut and dry error, and it is a disqualification. But of course, that's going back to the day when there were restricted fuel cells.
It's still, and Speed's going to hate us, by the way, but that's why I'm continuing. It's still a rule that is still there, even though they have better ways to measure things at the moment, because they've got the fuel flow meter and they know exactly what went in and they know what went out, so they should be able to know what is still in there.
Yeah, he could have easily saved some fuel quite easily and still got second place. So, but anyway, there you go. Them's the rules. They increased the size of the fuel tank to 105 kilos, and it basically means it's easy to make the distance. So
it's still fun to talk about a race that actually has right turns on an American channel.
Fair enough.
What kinds of things are you talking about right now? Is it like sport? Sports?
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Tiny 4-cylinder cars that go really, really, really fast.
6-cylinder.
Oh, 6-cylinder, sorry.
Yeah, 1.6 litre 6-cylinder cars that produce 1,000 bhp.
Yeah. As opposed to a 6.6 liter American V8 that barely puts out 250.
Well, they do.
I know because I've got one.
Oh, the Moth? Is that the Moth?
It's midnight. It's midnight.
That's him.
That's nice.
I know it's
Come on, Brain Buck, get in here. You can tell us about the moth.
it's so much better. It's so much better than cars.
Yeah.
What about moths driving cars?
I think that moth has met Cerberus, because if you look closely, there's a brown thing on his wing.
Oh my God!
He got away with the crayon.
The content has got to improve.
Can I change the topic?
Oh yes, please.
Yeah, please.
So Jason, would you mind if I asked you some questions about the process of peer review?
Sure, go for it.
Right, because you said you're a climatologist, so you would happen to know you on this panel you would be one of the few people who actually understands how that process really works, right?
Yeah, I mean, I publish, and I'm fairly familiar with it. I'm always hesitant to say that I have full knowledge on a topic, but if you have a question, I'll try to answer it. So.
Okay. I guess, creationists, for example, make the claim that scientists are being, or that if scientists were to publish creation subjects, for example, then they would lose funding, for example, and they would lose their jobs, for example. How accurate is that based on the peer review process?
I mean, I don't even understand the question. I mean, if you're saying that if scientists, through their research, had science that had papers or research that would support a creationist perspective, would that result in a loss of funding or an impact them in terms of their research funding? I mean,
right.
Okay, so I mean that's a difficult question to answer, because the concept of creationism. I mean, if a researcher had legitimate, justified research that they felt was compelling to make a hypothesis and to prove that hypothesis, and they could be supported quantitatively, then I don't know any scientist that wouldn't say that, okay, if this is based in strong scientific structure, that it would get published. Now I don't know if it would necessarily get published. It would depend on the discipline that they would be focusing on.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that the problem is inherent around the topic itself. Like if we're saying, look, I have evidence that the Earth is 6,000 years old. I guess if we're taking like a young Earth creationist perspective, let's just use that as an example. Yeah. Like I have scientific research that would suggest the Earth is 6,000 years old. Okay, I mean, there is a huge body of literature that goes against that. So if I'm a researcher and I have evidence that would suggest the Earth is 6,000 years old, then I'm going to have to come with like overwhelming, substantial evidence, and I would have to, in my research, have to say, I recognize that the body of literature is against this hypothesis, but the reason that we, the researchers on this paper, feel that this hypothesis is valid is for these reasons. And here is why these positions that have been taken by these thousands of other publications are wrong. They have missed the boat, literally, on this premise that we are proposing, and we can show that our evidence can throw out that. And the fact is that if you go back in time to other periods where, like an example might be plate tectonics. Like for the longest time, plate tectonic theory was antithetical to our current models. But within the span of like 10 to 15 years, research came out that essentially turned it on its head. And the reason it got turned on its head was because people were able to come forth and say, I have research which completely blows out of the water the 200 to 300 years of publications that supporting this other position, but we can show why our position is valid. If somebody could come forward and do that and say, we have evidence to suggest that the Earth is 6,000 years old, and all this other evidence, we have reasons to explain that, it would get published. Guaranteed, it would get published. It would be, somebody would make their careers on that topic. So that's kind of where I would come from. And it's really founded in this particular issue. It's kind of like, do fairies exist? Why aren't any people coming forward and saying fairies exist? I'm like, well, they could, but they would have to have overwhelming scientific evidence to support that and to indicate why previous research that fairies don't exist is bunk. So that, I guess that would be in general my take on that.
So you're saying that contrary to what creationists would say, that scientists are motivated more by curiosity and what nature is actually trying to say, rather than what they get from their paychecks, for example,
and understanding the facts.
Right.
Yeah, well, I mean, when we say from their paychecks, let's keep in mind when somebody submits money for a grant, like as an example, my F&A cost, like the overhead is like 50%. 50% of any grant money that I get, or grant that I'm on, half of it goes to my institution. Then the amount of money that actually might go towards like paying summer salary, paying my salary, it's not like I get $200,000 from a grant, and I have a salary of $75,000. No, all it's going to do is it's going to pay out for my teaching time. It's going to just pay out my salary, so I get a summer salary, so I don't have to teach. It's not like I'm making bank on something. But remember, like a scientist, there is motivation. Scientists are like anybody else. They have personal motivations, but oftentimes those personal motivations are around their careers. So they want to make their career. Like as an example, if somebody, lots of people are into this, reading papers and just busting the bubbles of other people, So that's a very common thing where they're like, I can disprove this component. I'm going to write a paper on disproving it. It isn't really exposing any new novel research. It's just showing that some research is wrong. And I want to make my career on that. Scientists are selfish with regards to that.
Right.
I don't know if that makes
sense. It's kind of incredible how kind of all these different views and, like you said, the kind of selfishness about it, kind of it adds up over time, such that the ideas that I like to use the analogy of kind of shooting a poster board with shotgun bullets, and whatever remains is kind of what we have. I don't know if you would agree with that analogy, but would you agree with kind of the point I'm making, that that kind of these pluralism of ideas and kind of stances on how to tackle issues kind of adds up over time?
I don't know if I understand the question, but before you go on with that, I have to step away for just like 3 to 5 minutes. So maybe you guys can talk about this, and then I'll come back and I'll be able to answer. But my wife's calling me for something, so I got to go deal with that.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. So let me I'll come back in a second.
I know somebody who works in vaccine research, and he's a father of a daughter who went to school with my daughter, and they go to school together. And he tells me that this whole peer review process is quite a lot to it, and they're very there's all kinds of different environments that are being tested in, which is one of the things that's very valuable about it. Is like someone on the other side of the planet in a totally different environment will test some things out too. I know there's a lot more to it. It's very controlled scenarios, and but you got different people looking at things, and there's funding is a big issue in there because
right. Well, that's the funny thing is that when they say, "Oh, it's a massive conspiracy," kind of what's really going on is you have people from different institutions all coming to the same conclusion independently of each other.
Yeah,
and that's kind of the ideas that stick with over time. Not really a top-down approach of here's what you need to publish and stuff like that.
Yeah, and they're expecting a top-down approach because that's how it is with God. God's at the top and everything down below.
Exactly.
It's a very authoritarian structure, and peer review most definitely is not.
Yeah, so aside from the creationists and the people that are that biased, there are certainly some issues with the peer review system.
Right.
And I don't think it's worth. We'd be dishonest if we would say that it's a superb system which always finds.
It's by no means perfect. I agree with that.
By a long way, especially in like the softer sciences, it just gets harder and harder to know what is actual fact. And then so I think there are better methods to showing that particular work is more valid than other work, right? So quite often I've heard scientists themselves say they're not particularly interested in what's peer-reviewed necessarily, although that is a guide. What they're really interested in is how many other scientists are referencing particular papers. So if you do a paper and it gets peer-reviewed, etc., and it's in the literature, and that's then referenced 1,000 times, then that's more likely to be good science rather than one which is only referenced once or twice.
I'll just add to that. It's not only just how many, but also the reasons why they're referencing it is also a factor.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
I've been told by multiple...
It's the guide I'm talking about.
Many different factors coming together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I've been told by multiple philosophers that have been published that the best way to get your paper published after it's been rejected for some reason is just to republish it.
Yeah, philosophy.
Don't even change it. Just do it again.
Yeah, philosophy's not really a science, though, is it?
It's a quasi-science.
And the same with psychology. I mean, there was some statistic that someone came up with a while ago that 75% of the papers in particular journals had been rejected, right, but were still published.
Yeah. It's been like over the last 10 years.
Yeah,
they literally call it a crisis because their level of certainty is like less than half of like what is in the STEM fields.
Yeah.
Who is showing this video right now? Isn't this live?
Yeah.
Yep.
Any hill themes.
It's live. Brain bug. Hey, Brain bug.
How are you? You got the fancy bandana on today?
You all caught me out working in my yard to get ready for my trip. We're going on down to Arkansas, and I'm gonna be doing some collecting. I got a light trap that I'm gonna set up down there. Grayson's excited to help me out with it. I've never been down there and done anything. We're gonna do summer fun stuff too. We're gonna kayak and all kinds of good stuff. I actually have my Carolina mantis is right behind me bolting right now, and it looks like it's gonna be freaking huge. Let me see if I can get my camera to point at it. You guys want to see?
Oh yeah, put them off full screen.
Yeah, let me.
Can we take this down speed?
Hold on, I'll turn this big light on.
There's like looking at Otangelo, so he's talking to somebody, and Maddox is in the side chat saying, "Crush this ignoramus." So
that might be too much light.
That is one thing I like about Othangelo.
He brings in a crowd.
Well, no, he can't crush anybody. He couldn't crush his mother in an argument.
I thought that went without saying.
Yeah. I mean, that's why, because it riles up these like ultra aggressive.
Wow, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
It's gonna be about. I mean, that's my hand. It's pretty good size. Pretty good size insect coming out of there. So this is a native species. Actually, this is. Hold on. Actually, it's a species that's basically been supplanted in most of its natural range by Chinese mantises, which is what you see a lot in the fall. And look at my crazy hair. Take me off full screen, please. Anyway, it's been supplanted in much of its natural range, so it's pretty nice to find one in the wild and be able to watch it grow. She gets big, I'm probably going to let her outside in the wild so she can find it. She or he, I don't know the sex of it yet, but so can find a mate.
So Brainbug, so you said you're an entomologist, correct?
No, I'm not an entomologist.
Oh.
No, not at all. I the stuff I went to school with was all medical, but I'm going back to school for ecology. If I can ever get my class schedule sorted out with my work schedule. It's been kind of a pain in the ass.
So how in that case are you still how familiar are you with the basics of phylogenetic methods?
Oh, I lost my volume.
Better ask the question again. Maybe he didn't hear you.
I lost my volume. Sorry. I don't know what happened. My speaker shut off when I unplugged my light.
Oh,
would you ask?
I was just asking how familiar are you with the basics, at least, of different phylogenetic methods?
Oh, no, I'm good at that. Yeah, just in general. I'm pretty good at that. Why? What's up?
I guess, I don't know, Speed, should we go back to the original topic since Brainbug's here?
Sure. It's good enough. Yeah.
Okay. So do you have any initial thoughts, Brian, on the common creationist misconceptions about phylogenetics?
Yeah. The idea that species are prescriptive, that kind of thing. That
would you mind elaborating on that? I don't quite understand.
Okay, so like I said, I shouldn't use the word species because they're going to use the word kind, right? But right. That's a prescriptive. It's like a dog that's prescriptive of what an organism is. You say it's a dog that's prescribing it those qualities as opposed to describing it, which is what we do when we are putting things into a phylogenetic tree. Is we're describing its qualities and how it relates to other organisms on the tree of life. So yeah, that's my understanding of their misunderstanding of phylogeny.
Have you do you have any thoughts on their because I don't know if it's just a misunderstanding. It probably is partly a misunderstanding, or it's also probably a misconstruing of the term synapomorphy and what it means. Like they commonly just they often just phrase it in terms of similarities rather than nested unique traits of specific groups that you're looking at.
You're talking about like a nested hierarchy and not understanding how that works. Yes, I think a lot of the problem is how it's displayed. I actually talked to Speed about this a while ago. You remember the cladogram that I was trying to make that was like 3D, like you were going through it instead of looking at it just linear. It was like
I don't quite remember that. My apologies.
I don't know if I guess Speed's not in here right now, is he?
No, I am. I'm here.
Oh, you are. I didn't even. Yeah, you don't remember that? It's been a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, I forget that Speed's getting up there and can't remember things quite as good as he used to. Right.
Right. No, I can't remember anything from more than 5 minutes ago.
I would rather see phylogenies displayed as circles within circles, like zooming in and out of a circle within a circle of nested groups. I think that's a better representation. I think people get confused about the linear cladograms. I think that's their main misunderstanding when they're saying, this kind can't give birth to that kind. At some point, non-human had to give birth to a human. It's just that's being prescriptive about what it means to be a human. It means that at some point that instead of us casting a net over a group of organisms with certain genetic traits and saying we're going to describe these as humans, they think that the net was set up like by some divine creator, and that things don't cross over those boundaries, or things never, there was never any organisms that moved between there before we cast our net over it and said we're going to call this group Homo. Then that's just not the way it works.
Do you still have that thing that you were showing me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, somewhere. Let me work on bringing it up if I can find it.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, it's just like a prototype of the way I think that it should be represented. But
by the way, sorry, Jason. Our brain bug came in here and we kind of switched topics.
Oh,
totally.
Sorry.
No. Please go for it. No.
Phylogenetics.
Yeah.
So Brainbug, my other question would be, or when you're done there, like you often see the nested hierarchy. Oh, I'm getting a bit of an echo.
Yeah.
Echo.
Am I still echoing?
No. It's just StreamYard. StreamYard occasionally does that just to remind you that you're on StreamYard.
Anyways, so Brainbug, what do you think of the common argument to explain life's nested hierarchy? Instead of based on common ancestry, they argue that's based on a common designer.
Well, that's it seems like post hoc rationale about the evidence to me. I mean, that's all it is, right? It's just they look alike because God made them that way. What was it? It was Sal who said that they were made so they're like similar to us, so that we could do medical experiments on them and learn.
Yeah.
Learn how
they also point out, for example, how there was a parent, and I say a parent with capital letters here, nested hierarchy in cars, for example. And they point to that and say, look, the phylogenetics is arbitrary. Which kind of shows that they don't really understand what's actually going on.
Right. Right. And that's I've argued with a few people from that point that say, oh, if it's arbitrary, it doesn't mean anything. Well, what it means is that humans like to classify things by groups, and we're still working on how to classify life, and we'll probably always be working on that, and we're never going to have a complete fossil record. That's another sticking point. We're never going to, we can't actually go back and see and look at the DNA of common ancestors. What we can look at is the DNA of the two groups of descendants and see how much commonality, how much I guess, and synapomorphies too, like you were saying,
right.
How much they have in common. And we actually, and it's cross-referencing those. It's laying the data that we can find when we look at synapomorphies, when we look at the fossil record, when we look at the genetics of two groups. We can see that at like every point of development, across the not just the animal kingdom, but just the entire kingdom, of life in general. We can see speciation events at different levels of development and divergence, throughout it. So it's not like these are all speculative steps, but yeah, common designer, sure.
Right. Well, I mean, like they also point to certain groups where there are phylogenetic incongruencies, while also ignoring the massive amount of congruencies among larger groups and even more specific groups than the ones they mentioned, right? Oh, dog.
Sorry, my dog's barking.
Hey, Grr.
Oh, I had my mic on mute. What's up? All right, sorry. I know I'm like super duper late. Oh, hey, Randolph. I thought you left for some reason. I don't know why.
Probably because I changed my avatar a few times.
It could be it. Yeah, so I'm super late. I do
So-
apologize.
So Gert, do you have anything you'd like to add to what's being discussed here? Just to kind of
what's-
bring you in.
I have something to add. I think Speed should now rework the title.
Yeah, to Germania kind of show.
We're atheists. We don't do deceptions or dishonesties. So you can't have that title anymore.
You can just say Germania shows up super duper late and he's stupid. All in one word.
I changed it.
Wait, that's a word?
Yeah.
See,
we'll just, you just
see,
capitalize
Speed, I
the
Mine
letters.
is blown.
I was accurate with my description earlier.
Wait, what did you say earlier?
No, you can go watch that. You were late, so
You son of a biatch.
that's what happens when you don't show up.
Hey, I had no idea this was going to happen until
Yeah,
20
that
minutes
was my
before it
fault.
happened.
No, he kind of implied to me that he had been in communication with you. I guess I read between the lines there a little bit, but I should have known better.
Wait,
And
no,
that-
like me
You
and
guys
Peter,
trusted me too much.
Yep.
He read between the lines and then ignored the lines.
I
What are you
usually
talking
just
about lines?
I usually
Draw no
just
lines.
snort the lines. There's a line, I'm like, my nose starts itching. No, I'm just kidding. But no, like me and Peter, we talked for a good while the other night after the stream ended, and I blame Peter for me not having an actual live stream the night that I thought I was going to have one.
I made him piss his pants.
You did what?
I said I made you piss your pants.
Hey Brian,
Maybe a
have
little
you have you seen any of the videos I've been showing of the microscope? On the
Recently?
bugs?
Are you showing
Yeah.
them during your weather report?
Yeah, during the weather report, I did it on Sonata last night. I went through the whole video of my whole one current day catch, about 500 bugs. And I put on a 2x lens, and I just took it off now, and I was getting really, really fine detailed pictures of some of these insects. Pretty cool.
That caddy did. You got really close in on and looked at its tarsals and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah,
That was pretty
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I had the 2x on that.
Yeah, I haven't been able to watch the weather report for a while. I switched what I do at work, so I'm not available during the day anymore. It kind of sucks. I miss all the stuff I used to watch every day.
Yeah,
That's what they all say.
I started recording video when I go through the insects because it's a lot easier than screenshots, and it's actually pretty cool. There's a lot of blurry parts in between, so they need to be edited, but it's some good stuff.
Yeah,
I have many trays to go. I'm going to do another catch tonight, I think.
you got
By
any
the way,
mantis flies?
What's that?
You got any mantis flies?
Possibly. I do not. I am not good at identifying. I haven't followed all the. I haven't followed that learning path to be able to identify bugs. So if I can search them out on Google, if I'm lucky, like I found I think it was it was a striped fly, had stripes, and it came up really close match to a flesh-eating fly. But the flesh-eating fly had red eyes, and mine had black eyes, and that could have just been a variation, but I don't know.
Or domestic violence.
Maybe it's
Domestic
not.
violence, maybe I'm not sure, but that's why I kind of like to go through some of those things with you and maybe get some idea of what some of them are.
Yeah, I
You
can
might
see if I
recognize
can
a lot
ID
of them.
those for you.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at that. Someone was asking,
Yeah.
I think it was Dessel Drace was asking what my favorite thing is. And if it's isn't to ID with, if it's in the US, I just use Bug Guide. But honestly, I mostly just use Google.
Yeah.
It's all about location and knowing what features to look up. The first thing you need to do when you're trying to identify any kind of insect is type in the features in the location into Google, because chances are someone else has looked up that and got the answer already, and you can just go through their pictures and find a picture of it that's similar. That doesn't always work, but it's a good jumping off point. And then after that, I'll type in the description and then the word bug guide, and look at that. Internationally, it gets a little bit harder. There's some similar programs out there, similar Bug Guide's almost like a forum, but there's some similar groups for the UK that you can look into, and there's one for Australia. But when internationally, it gets even trickier, especially when you get into creatures that may cross into different borders or may temporarily be in a location. I was actually looking at doing something about that earlier, maybe doing like a tweet, or maybe I might do a little video on it. I'm identifying or differentiating a monarch from an admiral butterfly, because they look very similar. Most people don't know how to tell the difference between them.
HP.
Yeah. And
should I go into the chat so that whoever Otangelo was talking to can come in if he wants to?
Yeah.
Oh, is Antangelo here?
Yeah, Phil is Phil's an ACA man.
Yeah. And a really good guy to talk to.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Wait, who is he?
I don't know what he did, but he made little PP
really mad.
Type in all caps.
Yeah. Little PP's
I
going
like him
nuts.
already.
Yeah, Phil is pretty good.
Yeah.
He talks to him.
Phil's someone who doesn't hold back.
Yeah, I have met the man, but I don't think he remembers me. But twice, in fact.
Hey, I actually did have a little chat with Little PP last night on Praise's stream.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
I gotta look that up.
Yeah, it's pretty good. He said, really? So Germania, you were talking some mad shit about me. And I was like,
oh, he caught you, eh? He caught you.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't call him a clown. He doesn't like that.
Yeah. By the way, Germania,
yes.
do you know Toxic Taylor?
No, I've not heard that before.
He otherwise known as Pastor Taylor.
No, I'm not familiar.
We should get him on your channel when you do a live stream. I'll make sure that happens.
Is this same Pastor Taylor who used to hang around on the EA show?
Yes.
Oh, he's interesting. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
He is very toxic.
He is a pastor, and he has advertisement for smoking weed behind him while he does his shows.
That sounds like him. But I never have known him to be toxic. Is that a recent change?
No, he was toxic to me in Justin's private group, private philosophy group.
In the public one, he's not. It's the private stuff. Okay.
Oh, you can really, really make him mad, and he won't quit. He just won't quit.
Well, that's more than I can say about Little Peepee, because he will rage quit in a hurry.
Hey, Gur. So what was Little Peepee's name last night on Praise's stream? He changes his damn name every.
Oh, he does, and you're probably gonna like it. It was a Gur Douchey.
Gur Douchey. Okay.
Gur Douchey.
I like it.
And then when I left the chat, he changed it to Gur Runaway. It's like, yeah, son of a bitch.
He needs help. Don't you think, Randolph? He needs help with coming up with better troll names.
Oh God, I got a cat eating goldfish.
Therapy, actually, but okay.
Yeah. Randolph can help him out and get him some really cool names. Randolph's good at that.
I don't know if I want to. I'd rather put my efforts into supporting atheists.
I'm going to have to mute. My cat is eating goldfish.
I'm biased that way. Oh, goldfish.
Yeah, the crackers.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Speed. It's whatever Praise's last stream was. It's some long-ass name. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Supralapsarianism or something.
Yes, he comes in at the 3 hour and 22 minute mark, give or take.
Okay, 3:22. Okay, gotcha.
And he was like, "So I heard you are friends with
Gurdushi.
Speed.
Gurdushi.
Yes, that's it. He's like, I heard you're friends with the Pudding Gang. And I was like, I don't know what I said, actually. I'll be honest.
Are you friends with the Pudding Gang?
The Pudding Gang.
Yeah, he's like, so now you have validation through other stupid atheists or some crap like that. And I was like, yeah, whatever. But then I was like, I kept trying to get you into the stream. And then I stepped away. I tell him at some point, I was like, listen, I'll be right back. As soon as I stepped away, I checked it out this morning to see what they were saying about me. And P Mars was like, yeah, Gurr and Speed had a stream together and they were talking mad shit about Christians and it was all one-sided. And I was like, I commented this today. I was like, dude, I have open mic streams like on a weekly basis. Well, with the exception of the last couple of weeks, where everyone can join. So the one time I have just a closed room is the one time you're going to criticize me. Like,
right.
Stupid.
Yeah, it's all one-sided. I mean, what the hell are we supposed to do? Make their arguments for them? Or what do they expect?
Oh, they'd like that. As long as we do it in the way they want us to.
Yeah. We should get them to form a club who hates Speed and have it called the Pudding Club.
The Pudding Club. I like it.
Yeah, I think that'd be funny. But yeah, I'm thinking one time.
Anyone knows what that actually means, or do we need to
call it
Simon?
Call it Slow Sound. That's the kind of name they'd come up with.
No, the Pudding Club.
The Pudding Club.
Anyone know what the Pudding Club is?
I hope that's not a reference to some Bill Cosby thing.
No. Simon, will you do the honors? Because I think it's British, isn't it?
I think there was something called the Pudding Club. Are you talking about?
How can you eat your meat if you don't have your pudding?
No, it has nothing to do with that. It has, surprisingly, it has somewhat to do with sex.
Uh-oh.
Sure.
Oh no.
That's like a Pink Floyd reference, isn't it?
If you make a woman pregnant, she's in the Pudding Club.
Oh.
Okay. Icarus said, "There's no better name than Gurr Runaway." Well, you have little Pee-Pee to thank for that name.
Run away.
No, because I had been streaming all day. I streamed with Speed, then I went to Speed's channel, this channel, and then at the last minute, I decided, okay, I'll go on Praise's stream. Mind you, I was pretty wasted. I'm not gonna lie. I've been drinking all night.
That's the proper way to go on Praise's stream.
True.
He won't notice the difference.
And of course, every time I've been on his stream, he will play the clip of Randolph, which is like a face swap of what's the name of that movie? Bruce Almighty, where he's like, like he starts speaking gibberish. Every time I'm on there, he plays that clip.
Funny. Oh, I thank the person who created. They had no idea how to respond to me.
Oh,
I think they were hoping I'd be offended.
Right. Well, what's funny is I did tell him this. I said, listen, before I go, I do want to share one thing that I think we can all agree on. Leo Phileas did not get this joke last night about the Batman symbol.
How long did it take him? 10 minutes? I think all the puns that you used, Peter.
It felt like forever, and I was dying laughing. They thought it was actually pretty funny too.
He would have got it funny. Maybe Speed can put this up. I put the video link in the chat, the private chat. It's Sal. Just for a few seconds, he throws a book for Leo Phileas.
He would have figured it out faster if he wasn't spending so much time being upset that you weren't ruining the joke.
Yeah, we did cover that on the weather report when he was like what's his name, Canadian Catholic or whatever.
Oh, you did.
Is he really gonna go get his books? And it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, that was so funny. That I was on that stream with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of Canadian Catholic?
Randolph, really quick. Do you see it?
Most people see Batman logo and it's disappeared. There we go.
Yeah, speed. Just for Randolph, make me full screen just for a minute.
Yeah, I only saw part of it. Yeah. Most people see Batman's logo. Okay, yeah, I see it right away.
It took him
Leo took him 10 minutes.
It ran off 0.2 seconds. It took freaking Leo like 10 damn minutes.
I think it's safe to say that Randolph's part of all of you.
Well, also I have experience running some troll accounts, about 24 of them on Google Plus, so I'm quite familiar with those kind of antics. Every name I see online, I have a habit of trying to read it out loud to make sure it's not got a hidden message.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I did the exact opposite because Peter has some separate account. If you speak it out loud, it's like "bad Jesus" or something like that, and it went right over my head.
Guess who came up with that name?
Who?
Randolph.
That was me.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. If you guys need help with names, I can come up.
Oh no.
Yeah, you know what's funny, Randolph? Germania said, when I see a name, I see that name in my mind. And it took him about half an hour to figure out what it actually said. That's the part that he's not mentioning. He's making fun of Leo.
Don't listen to Peter. Peter doesn't know what he's talking about. He's full of lies.
Here he goes. This is really funny.
Yeah, it's not an easy one. Not a lot of people get it, especially Christians. They don't get it.
Maybe just let him do it. Let him do his thing. No, let me talk first. So, for one of these books, can you just say, "And this one's for Leophilius"?
This one's for Leophilius.
I can't believe Self went ahead and do it, but okay. Then I shared that with Leo. Leo seemed pretty happy to see that.
Yeah.
I suggested they go back and forth. Yeah.
What stream is that on? What channel?
That's Canadian Catholics stream.
Yeah.
And well, there's a link in the private chat. You can go there and follow through to get the where it's from.
I'll put it in public chat too.
I'm surprised you go on his stream, Randolph.
Canadian Catholic's always been pretty nice to me. He's invited me in to speak with famous people a few times, including like Graham Oppie, where he's not letting other people in. So that's
pretty cool.
Yeah, and I like the guy. I don't have any issue with him. We don't agree on quite a few things, but most of it we're pretty cool on. I don't have any complaint about him. Like, and Sal, I don't know very well, but he's definitely on the intelligent design track. I asked Sal in this video to maybe clarify the difference between creationism and intelligent design, and he gave a straightforward answer.
Yeah.
What was his answer? Because I've asked John that before.
He said creationism has a much higher bar to reach because it makes a lot of claims, whereas intelligent design is a little bit more kind of vague. But that's where he goes along with. And vague isn't quite his word, but it's in the longer original video there somewhere.
So, Cell is a yak. I mean, he's a solid yak. 6,500 years old. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Canadian. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. I know I've asked John Maddox, what's the difference between creationism and intelligent design that he subscribes to, and he didn't answer me. That was on one of his posts, but he never did respond.
You know the difference?
I don't know. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, there is only a dishonest answer really to that question.
He needs to listen to Sal more. That might help him a little bit.
So, Lil PP doesn't like to admit he's a yak or not, whether he's a yak.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, he definitely is.
One of the first time, I think it was the first time he came on to one of my streams. We were chatting. It was a good conversation, and I didn't want to derail the topic because it was a good atmosphere. And then he said, "Do you have any questions for me?" And I was like, I do, but maybe another time. He said, no, go ahead. And I was like, well, okay, only because you suggest. I said, do you subscribe to young earth creationism? And he was like, well, I just don't really think it matters. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
And he calls himself a Christian. Okay.
I mean, that's a really good question. I mean, you could talk more in depth. We don't have to, but like,
right.
when we say creationism, do you mean young Earth creationism, or are we just saying like you could have different forms of creationism, like an old Earth creationism?
Oh, actually, I am glad you mentioned that because I think that is what I specified. Do you subscribe to young Earth creationism or other? Old Earth, intelligent design, so on and so forth.
I mean, you could say, intelligent design is very nuanced, and like,
right.
You could be like, intelligent design conforms to a 4.5 billion year old Earth. It conforms to evolution. I mean, you could make arguments around that, I'm sure.
That's why it's so dishonest to say that one has a lower. That's why it's dishonest to say that one has a lower standard of evidence than the other. Because basically creationism could be taken to be deism.
Yeah.
Right? In which case, probably deism might have a lower standard than ID, in fact.
Well, as I recall, Sal's point was that the creationism has a much higher bar because its claims are more specific than what intelligence means promoting.
True, though.
That was his perspective, though.
That's not true, though, is it? He's making a specific claim to what creationism is.
I did ask him what his opinions were on that, how he sees them as different. So he provided me his perspective.
Yeah. I'm not saying that he wasn't giving you a perspective. I'm just saying that look how feeble this is to hide behind words like that.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
Right? Because what does creationism mean? For fuck's sake. I mean, does it mean that God has... I mean, deism doesn't necessarily believe that the Godhead has agency. Right? ID specifically claims agency to the universe.
Oh, interesting. Huh.
So,
that's fair.
But you can look at it either way. So it's a nuance that he doesn't want to get into, and that's why they hide behind these words. That's why creationists hide behind ID, because they know that if they start talking about creationism, then people are going to go, "Oh, right, so you mean God? Right, now we can see whether God exists first." Whereas when they say, "Well, it's ID," right, then they think that they've got some kind of scientific claim there.
Yeah, they're in a perfect position to win any debate because they can make up anything they want in any manner and cover all the evidence. And we, like fools, we kind of take that bait and try to argue with them.
Right.
But I mean, they can make anything up, like that Borger guy on AIG, I think it is. He did like a 3-part paper, and all he talked about is actual evolution and speciation and basically de novo genes, and yet he insisted that it all started 6,000 years ago. But other than that, he was just talking about evolution, like anyone would, that presents evolution. But then he claimed it all for God. It was just, oh my God, it's frustrating.
Yeah, it's the show game. That's why I think one of the main problems I see with young debaters, all right, and I say that in inverted commas. I don't mean people that are young and debate. I mean people that haven't been debating very long. Is they are not very quick to let the other person have enough rope to hang themselves. They would much rather assume the other person's position, right? Because they think they've heard the arguments before, than actually let the other person dig themselves a hole deep enough so they can be well and truly buried.
Well, I did a stream with Standing for Truth quite a while ago. And I kept asking him questions about when did this happen? When did the flood happen? When did Babel happen? When did the Neanderthals break off? And he started to put out a timeline, and he basically hung himself.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And he has never been back.
That's the way you do it. That is the way you do it. You got to make sure that you have an argument to commit to a position first before just diving in on them and going, right, well, I know all the arguments against every position, so...
Yeah. That's definitely an experience. Yeah.
But if you dig in, if you can dig them in on any one point, like any one paper, one point, just dig in, they completely fall apart immediately, because that isn't how they debate. They debate with the Gallup, because they have to fly right across the top of the trees, just clipping the tips. And if they go into anything, their shit falls apart.
Yeah, I mean, that's what makes Neffy such a good debater. It's because he's really hard to pin down.
Yeah,
he's very difficult to pin down on any one particular point. It took me maybe 40 minutes to get him to say something about the geological column, which was definitely incorrect.
He puts out so much misinformation.
Yeah,
Nephilim free. Yeah,
but he covers it. He covers it with more misinformation. And so you just end up running round and round in circles, trying to pin him down.
I debated him for an hour, and right in the beginning, he said that if a protein, one single amino acid changes in a protein, it completely destroys its function, which is just so incorrect. It's unbelievable. But for 1 hour, basically, we went around and around and around, and he didn't budge. He wouldn't budge an inch. It's like, no, you change one amino acid, the protein doesn't work anymore, and it's like, oh my god. So
hey, I hate to do this, but I do have to go. But sorry, I missed it, but I do appreciate it, and I will definitely be back hopefully next weekend.
Great chatting with you again.
Yeah, you as well, Randolph. I appreciate it.
Have a good week, yeah.
Hey, Randolph, before I go, can you post your website in the private chat of all the list of YouTubers and whatnot?
Oh, yeah, I'll put it in the public one too. Hang on for a second.
Definitely do.
I'll get it right away. Yeah.
Yeah, guys.
That's one of my websites. That's the Atheist Frontier. Questioning what's real is the slogan.
I like it.
I've always liked that slogan, yeah. But yeah, and if anybody here you're not in there, I'll gladly put you in.
No. They have to be a high caliber. I'm sorry, everybody else. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'm gonna
look chat as well.
Okay, I got it right here.
Yeah. Yeah, I just added some more just the other day. I keep adding more and more. We're nearing 300 channels in there now.
That's amazing. That's well, not to sound like Jesse Lee Peterson, but that's amazing.
Hey, damn it, I'm not in there.
If you're not, I'll make that correction. God
damn it, Randolph.
You might still be under speed of sound of gravity.
I'm throwing Randolph out of the studio.
You're gonna make me a Christian at this rate.
You're in the letter S's. I had to break it up into letter codes.
On Answers in Atheism now. You should put me in 2 spots, speed of sound and
Oh, that's true. You're going to be in the A and the S's. You're going to be an ass.
Are you running 2 different channels?
No, I changed speed of sound of gravity to Answers in Atheism.
Oh, I'll update it and change it over to Answers in Atheism for you then. Sure, no problem.
All right, yeah.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah, no, good one.
That's one thing is I don't always see the updates, so it's good you let me know. I'll get that changed right away for you.
Oh, cool! This is a wonderful resource. This is great.
Put the forum link in there too.
We got to put this in the. Okay, where's the forum? Where's the forum? Okay, hashtag keep speed off the list. Damn it, Spooky. Damn you, Spooky. Okay, I want to put this in the description.
No, seriously, thanks for letting me know that you're updated there, because I do want to keep things up to date.
Yep.
And let me just take a look at your channel here, see if you have a custom URL now.
No, I don't think I do. I don't know. Maybe I tried. I'm not sure.
Southern Hemisphere Globehead? Is that you?
What? No, I don't think so.
Okay, I got the wrong one here. Oh, sorry. Speed of that. I grabbed the one just above you.
Okay.
That's another good channel. They're all good channels. Here we are. And Yes, you do have a custom URL, so I can get rid of that long channel address and just change it to Answers in Atheism.
Oh, cool.
We'll update that too. Answers in Atheism. But the old hashtag jump code will continue to work, because I'll leave the speed of sound of gravity one in there, because there may be links out there to it. So I'll add the Answers in Atheism one. And what I'm talking about is after the URL, you can put a hashtag and then that abbreviation for it. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So, where's your forum? You had another link, right?
Me?
What am I? Yeah, I thought so. Let's see. Hang on a second here. Okay, I want to link both these. Atheist Frontier. Is that the only website you have?
I have a whole bunch of websites. This is a big one that I've been using as a catch-all to put all kinds of atheism stuff on there. And
okay.
The glossary entry for atheism is a good read. I haven't updated it for a while, but I do have some work to do on that. But let me just
I put those in the description of this video, so we'll be able to find them if we remember when we were talking about it. So. Cool. So I want to shoot this in the head.
Okay, I'm going to have this updated in just a sec. Yeah, if anybody here is not in there and you have atheism content, or you're an atheist making content, I'll gladly add you to the list here. So
yeah, cool.
Hello.
I think Simus is in there.
No, I'm not in there.
Really? You sure?
Yeah, I've just looked it up. I'm not under arrest anyway.
Huh. I will have to make sure you're in there then.
Oh, thank you. I do appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. This is.
You can put me as an anti-theist as well.
Yeah, I don't have that level of detail in there. That's up to you to present.
Okay.
Yeah, this is intended to be kind of as impartial as I can possibly make it. So I don't really. The description is mostly taken from people's YouTube video descriptions, but some don't have it, and I have to actually put some work into figuring out what to write.
No, I don't. I do atheist content, and you're welcome to come into my side chat and talk atheist stuff, but I do tend to do it over the top of my gaming videos.
That's fine.
But, I've been debating.
You're not the only one who's doing gaming on there, so don't worry about it.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. And of course, I have the great Fabio, who is also another atheist debater.
So, boys and girls, can we shoot this in the head?
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna.
Okay, are you gonna send me more bugs to identify?
Yes, I will. Okay. I'm doing a bunch of videos, and I was hoping to get together with you and kind of go over some of these microscope videos that I'm doing.
Yeah. So I'm like on a later schedule right now, but hopefully only for the next couple of months. But okay. I can still do stuff just to be later in the evenings.
Yeah, we can do that. I'm all over the place as far as when I sleep now. So.
Yeah, we can just do a whole little IDing creatures stream. I'm going to be doing this week. I'm going to be on vacation. I'm going to be gone for about 5 days, but after I get back,
maybe the week after. So
yeah, but after I get back, I'm going to have videos of my own, so we can like maybe do it together. That'd be fun.
Cool. Yeah, I've got in my refrigerator. I think I've got about 8 bowls of different catches for one night. A couple of them are from last year. I'm not sure how desiccated they are, but they hold up pretty well in the freezer. But
so is that all locally harvested?
All locally, yeah, in my backyard, and they're all flying insects because I catch them in a light trap. And
yeah,
that's I haven't figured. Yeah, I have talked to you sometime about catching ground bugs and arachnids and things like that. So
they'll come to the light trap too. You gotta live monitor it if you want to try to catch them with a light trap. But we can talk about that backstage.
Okay, cool. Okay, we're gonna end her, guys.
I'll just let you know the website's updated. Your stuff's all set the way you want it.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I really appreciate that. Okay. Oh, I see it. semi-regular weather reports. Actually, we've been doing it 5 days a week. We're pretty damn regular lately. So
you can just tell me what you want updated,
Yeah.
and I can do that too. So
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't want to be pedantic like a Danny.
no, just tell me exactly what you want. I'll change it. It's not a problem. I'd rather it be accurate. So
Man, I miss watching the weather report. You guys were so much fun.
So we're doing it a little later now. Like from 4 to 6. You know that, right?
Yeah, and I think I'll be free to do that here probably about October or so. Free to maybe even come in and do some shows.
Yeah, cool.
Or just right now I can't, which sucks. I can't even listen to it. I go back and listen to bits and pieces of it, but
So
I've always thought the weather report is a brilliant name for it because it stands out. It catches my eye. So
yeah, I'm kind of working on some software. It's going to take me forever to write it, but I kind of want to do some scraping so that the sites that we monitor, so that I can automate, so that every day on the weather report, I try to put the links to all the things that we talk about. So if you guys, if you're going back and you're looking for a history of what's happening in the Maddox, Cell Cordova, SFT community, I've got a lot of that stuff in there. But my hope is to automate this so that I can scrape every, have a nice index, right? So I mean,
do you ever use Beautiful Soup? You ever heard of Beautiful Soup?
No, I have not.
It's a Python library that is really great for scraping, for data scraping, web scraping. It's called Beautiful Soup. Yeah.
Oh, what the hell was I using? Selenium.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, and I just started messing around with it. And I managed to get the titles and a few other things. And it's just a matter of going through that goddamn HTML and drilling down on the tags and figuring out what you want. But
you know what you should have on their Speed is actual kind of weather status scrolling across the bottom of the screen for all the different major cities around the world.
Oh, I could get a feed.
Yeah.
You should make a scroller, and instead of having temperatures on there, make fun of creationists like little PP.
Yeah, well, the joke is that the joke is that the creationists are kind of like bad weather.
Yeah, I know, but if you actually had actual weather reporting there, they'll put up little icons showing a picture of clouds or rain or sun or snow or something. It'd be kind of neat. Those are floating along at the bottom at a slow pace while everything's going on. And you can actually see real weather while you're tuned into the weather report. That'd be pretty cool.
Even having like just a faux radar map playing in the background would be funny.
Yeah.
That'd be good too. Yeah.
Oh, so many things I could do to improve my goddamn dumb little channel here. But anyway, okay, we're gonna end. Okay.
See you guys.
Goodbye, cruel world.
Take care.
Bye-bye.